I'm Sarah. This is my horse Cruz. He is a warm blood thoroughbred cross. He's 3 years old. He was broke and backed earlier this year by me. Did his first couple of canters under saddle late April. It's now the very beginning of August. He's had a little time off, been hacked a little bit occasionally in between, and he's ready to start developing a little more connection with the bit and trotting some poles under saddle and just starting a little bit more education in dressage. His conformation, he is slightly heavier on the forehand. He's a little bit upright in his pastern conformation. His way of going makes him a little bit more heavier on his forehand, so doing a lot of transitions and work to get him to carry himself is something you're going to see next in the video. Cruz, ready for lunging. I typically do a lot of lunging with my young horses in the beginning just so that they're introduced to the contact through some use of side reins. I have the side reins attached going around the girth here, and right now, because I'm not going to lunge him with him strapped down in the beginning, I have it looped over the top, and then the opposite one is clipped on up here so that it's not down where it can get caught on anything. He wears a breastplate. I also have a little riser pad on just to keep the saddle a little bit more level. And with the bridle, I have twisted up the reins, looped it through the throat latch. The lunge line is attached by going through the bit and over the head and clipped onto the other side. He's also wearing boots. I have him both in front boots and some soft bell boots. Next, what you're going to see is him just lunging free without the use of the side reins, just so that he can warm up a little bit and settle. And then I will clip the side reins on in the next clip. The line is like a rein where it comes into the bottom of my hand. I also hold the lunge, the extra bit of lunge line like a butterfly over the top, never around my hand in circles. Trot. Okay, so I like to let a young horse lunge in without side reins in the beginning, just because they're not entirely balanced on their own quite yet. So I like them to get a feel for making circles and just only having to deal with just themselves on the circle. Few things that I focus on is that when the horse is walking on the lunge line, that they walk on, they march a bit and don't get sloppy and a little bit lazy at the walk. Trotting with this particular horse, he tends to want to rush a bit anyways at the trot. I do like him to just keep a nice even rhythm in his trot work and not terribly quick. You can see in his canter work that he's still very unbalanced. If you watch, often he doesn't get the lead behind. Sometimes he doesn't get the correct lead. A lot of times I try to ask for the canter into the corner or out of the corner. And at this point, at 3, he really can only hold his canter maybe a circle or 2 at this point. He can, on a larger area, canter for longer. But right now he's basically on a little bit of a 20-meter circle. And one other thing is in his trot work, I tend to keep him on a little bit smaller circle than when I canter him. When I canter him, I've let the line go out a little bit longer. I even walk with him a little bit more just so he's able to keep his balance. You saw he's a young horse still. There are horses beyond the pasture, beyond the arena wall that are playing, and he got a little bit excited, so making transitions walk to trot is helpful to get him to start cueing in on the handler again, so that he's not paying attention to the other horses, but he's paying attention to me. Okay, so with the side reins, what I'm hoping to accomplish is that he starts to develop a little connection to the bit, like the rider's hand. When I first put them on, I like them on a bit loose so that they can at least stick their nose a little bit ahead of the vertical. I have at times gone even looser when I first introduce side reins to young horses, just so that they don't get caught. He's had them on several times before. This is the length I feel that works for him. Having ridden him already, in previous weeks, I can tell you that he does like to lean on the rider's hand a little bit, so I like to make sure that the side reins are loose enough that he can't start being able to pull and lean onto them. So with him at the moment, he's not that balanced. At the canter, I usually just walk trot, just so he gets a sense of connection.